Good evening and welcome to Geography at the Guilsborough Academy. This is the team, Mr Ditchburn, who some of you might recognise. He's a long-standing member of the Geography Department. Myself, lead teacher of Geography, Mrs Commons, Mrs Shields and one of our assistant heads, Miss Ward. So what are our values in geography then? We want to make sure that all students recognise the importance of our wider environment and the wider community around Guilsborough, ensuring that we think about sustainability for future generations. That's really our key. And to help students recognise and celebrate differences between different people, different environments and the global society that we live in. We also want to ensure that students listen very carefully to one another, they accept other people's opinions and beliefs and cultures, and we like to emphasise that throughout our curriculum. When students join Year 7, they're starting a learning journey in the geography curriculum. We start this learning journey by building on the skills that students have learned at primary school, the basic map skills, grid references, distance and so on that they will have learnt as a basis during their primary years. So we do this by visiting a unit called Fantastic Places, and students learn all of these skills throughout visiting the 7 continents of the world, learning about various places across our globe. After this unit, we go on to a unit about resources. This forms a good part of our learning journey, as this comes again in our GCSE years. Students look at the different spheres of the Earth, the atmosphere, biosphere, lithosphere and so on, and learning about what resources are held in those different spheres and why we need them to survive on our planet. Students might also look at weathering of our rocks and resources, and also about where coal, oil and gas is formed, why we use them and how we use them in everyday life. They then go on to a large unit called Exploring Asia, where they're looking at China and India. They're looking at differences between the various countries, looking at in China the one-child policy, the population density of the most populated country on the planet, industrial development and thinking about where our clothes are made, pollution of this country and Chinese culture. They then compare this to life in India, looking at Dharavi slum, climate of India, and they look at that in China as well, quality of life, industry again, and inequalities across India, but also inequalities across the 2 different countries. As students move into Year 8, we look at tectonic hazards. Currently our Year 8 students are looking at the Earth's structure and the plate tectonics of how the Earth is made up and tectonic theory. They then go on to look at earthquakes and volcanoes, tsunamis. We also explore the UK, so this is moving again beyond primary school level, where we look at certain parts of the UK, and here we have a big focus on tourism and national parks. They then cover a unit called population, and they're looking at population across the planet, looking at different levels of development, demographics in various places. In Year 9, students look at some very contemporary geography, looking at wildfires, the global fashion industry, and also migration with a focus on Mexico to the USA. Following on from this, they look at tourism, which embeds some skills for the issue evaluation that they embark upon through GCSE. So they'll be making some decisions about the importance of the tourism industry and how we can keep it sustainable. If they choose to take GCSE then, as you can see, we have 3 papers. Paper 1, Physical Geography, Paper 2, Human Geography, and Paper 3, Geographical Skills and Issue Evaluation. So physical geography has things like hazards, tropical storms, earthquakes and volcanoes, physical landscapes of the UK, including previous glaciation and coasts, and then a unit on the living world where we look at ecosystems, focusing on rainforests and a cold environment. Unit 2 is about human geography, so we look at urban issues and challenges in HICs and LICs with a big focus on Rio and Bristol. In the Economic World unit, we have a large unit on Nigeria, and we focus back on tourism there. And then a unit on resources, which builds on the learning journey from Year 7, looking at food, water and energy. Unit 3 is about decision making, geographical skills and issue evaluation, and that's where students build on their geographical map skills and decision making. We also have many students that carry on at Guilsborough to do A-level as well. Currently, we have over 40 in our sixth form doing A-level. So where do our students learn? So this is a typical classroom. This is in B block at Guilsborough. As you can see here, we've got nice colourful displays, useful information on display, and a range of activities in a very safe environment. At Guilsborough, the most important thing is that geography is fun. We've got lots going on, and we like to try and get the students outside of the classroom as much as possible and learning in many different and interactive ways. Here you can see some of the previous social media posts that we've posted over the past couple of years. So we like to get out and learn from direct experience, and we're trying to embed fieldwork for all year groups. Currently we do have year 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13 going out on experiences, but we want to extend that to year 7 and 8 now that COVID is out of the way, well, kind of out of the way. That restrictions have been lifted, should I say. So we go to Birmingham, we go to the coast a lot. We've got students going this week to Stratford Olympic Park in London. And we have also had overseas visits, and this one in 2019 to Sicily, where we took 50 students to Alcantara Gorges, Mount Etna, Lipari and Vulcano to look at the tectonic landscape of Sicily. Unfortunately, we did have to cancel the Iceland trip last year, but we do really hope to be able to reinstate these trips for students, as we feel it's a really, really valuable part of their learning experience. Thank you for listening.